I took a couple hours today just to see if I could get my Triumph running. It's been sitting, I guess, for about 3 years. Fresh oil, fresh gas, brand new battery, 5 kicks, came to life. Starts and idles right now, beautifully. I'll give it a test ride when the weather clears up. It's raining right now. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. Maybe I'll take it to lunch come Thursday. We'll see. Started at an idle. No throttle, just idle. Started. It's now sitting there idling. This is my bike. First time it's been started, probably 3, maybe 4 years. Fresh gas, fresh battery. Here we go. That's oil pressure. It's high because it's cold. It'll come down. It's a 1968 T100C that I put 2 carburetors on, turning it into a T100R. It's bored out to 600 cc's, has megacycle cams, lightened valves, a bunch of internals, and it's just a sweet little bike. So I wanted to get it running. So, walking around this side, now that it's running, I will put on the side cover, finish dressing it out. I'll show you what's unhappy, what's unsettling. Right there. The bike fell over one day, and that little dent is right in my gas tank, on top of the candy apple red over white, over gold base. I've got to find a painter who's willing to try to touch that up for me without messing up the rest of the paint, because all that pinstriping is done by hand. So the bike is looking good. I'll go ahead and dress it out, let you see what it looks like when it's all together. So far so good. It sounds really nice. Well, here's the bike all dressed out. Now let me show you some of what I think are cool things I did to it. Where to start? I lowered the front end 2 inches. The forks are 2 inches shorter. The rear shocks are 1 inch shorter, to lower the bike down as low as I could make it comfortably. I put flat bars on it in order to make it look low, and I bobbed the rear fender, same reason, to make it look low and short. Basically, I wanted a really, really small bike that I could have fun with around town. As part of the fun, I punched out the cylinders to 600 cc's, put 2 carburetors on it, 2 brand new Premiers to replace the one. Put megacycle cams in it, put lightweight valves and heavyweight valve springs in it. This is a 350cc Triumph kicker because the 500cc would almost reach the ground and make it difficult to kick, so it's got a shorter kicker. I put the stock exhaust on it. I actually had some trumpets back there and I didn't like the sound, so I put stock pipes on it and I love the sound. The fender is custom, actually made for a Norton, and I put these extenders on it to make it fit the fittings on the Triumph. Let's see, up here I put the oil pressure gauge on, and that's wood stock. This is the Shuttlecraft wood stock that goes with the Starship Snoopy Norton. So that's Snoopy's little friend who sits on my Norton. I hid, well, I'll wait till the other side to show you where the ignition switch is. And what else is there on this side that's interesting? Pays on electronic ignition. This whole front motor mount is custom. A friend of mine made that for me out of aluminum to replace the big black ugly one that was original on this bike. This front brake is a double leading shoe from a later model. The second best Triumph brake they ever did, but it's a double leading shoe brake, and I had it laced into that wheel. Here's the other side of this little tool kit that my buddy made. Let's see if I can get it off. There. See? Isn't that cute? You can put stuff in there. Of course, you have to remember that it's right behind this really, really hot exhaust pipe, but you can do it. It's tight. Isn't that pretty, though? He's a good machinist. He made that for me. I moved the rocker oil pipes away from the head bolt, brought them out here and hooked them up to the rocker shafts directly by making these fittings. Here's the key hidden way under here, and I actually put it in the opening that they use to support the frame when they manufacture the bike. So that's a key slug in there. That's my ignition. And down here is a toggle switch that's lights on off, carefully hidden down there. All of this striping is done by hand, no decals. And let's see what else. Nice Hay-Gun shocks. And basically, I call it my little bitty bike that I set up to tour America a quarter mile at a time. So that's my little trumpet, and I call that my go-to-lunch bike now because I don't ride that much anymore. So that's what my trumpet looks like. I'll turn around here for just a second and I'll show you my Norton because it's sitting here also. This is my 1974 Norton Commando. It has an interstate tank, fastback rear section, Reed Titan fairing, and alternate electric starter. And it's been sitting here just as long as my Triumph has. Neither of these bikes have been on the road since 2020. And I've just got to get them both running, just because. It's just wrong to let them sit. So anyway, that's my two bikes. And little trip around memory lane here. So I'll fire this thing up again and show it to you running. Well, there she sits idling away. One kick. I love it. Little flashing light is a charge indicator showing that right now at idle the bike is not charging the battery. If I rev it up a little bit, it turns green, saying that it is charging. I can reach down here, turn on the light. Got a nice high beam, low beam. And a horn that works. Anyway, that's a quick tour of my little Triumph. Okay, let me tell you the story about Woodstock. Here sits Woodstock on the front of the bike, right between the instruments. If I go back over to my Norton, I'll show you why he is the Starship Snoopy, because here sits Snoopy on the dashboard. Snoopy was given to me by my daughter, oh, so many years ago. I know she was 12 and she's in her 50s now, so I've had this little Snoopy on a lot of bikes. Finally, this is his final home. He toured the country with me on my Harleys, but this is his final home here on the Norton. So this is the Starship Snoopy, and the Triumph is the Shuttlecraft Woodstock. The thing that I used to tell people that going down the road, I knew I was being silly and not careful and dangerous when Snoopy would turn around and say, "Hey, cut it out." So at that point in time, I would put on the brakes, come to my senses, slow down and pretend to be an adult. So anyway, this is my Norton. It's a lovely bike. And that's the Starship Snoopy. By the way, this is the placard I take with me when I show this bike, when I used to show the bike. It's the Shuttlecraft Woodstock 1968 Triumph T100C. And here's all the information about it. Here's the picture of the bike as I bought it. It was a little chopper, and I sort of cleaned it up and made it a tad bit better.